Hello, I'm Gary Tinsley and I'm here today with Susan Rashid representing our business, SR Strategic Sourcing Limited. In this short webinar scenario, Sue and I are going to discuss and role play through a situation where we both work for a medical supplies distribution company facing a hard Brexit following COVID-19. Sue will play the finance director and I will play the procurement director. Okay.
So Gary, thanks for coming along. Now we're coming out of COVID, I'm really interested to talk about the next challenge, which is a potential hard Brexit. We've had a really tough year so far, and if we need to maintain our customer base, we need to stay strong on price, quality, and continuity of supply. The businesses that are going to survive a hard Brexit are those with the most robust, agile supply chains. A hard Brexit is going to lead to potential availability issues, tax and duties, customs delays and charges. There's going to be uncertainty about supply, price increases from European suppliers, scarcity of workforce, and many others. What I need to know from you is how we are going to protect our business and reduce risk and keep our costs down. Okay, so tell me, what have you done so far and what are your plans for protecting the business? I really don't want to hear about increasing risk or additional costs, but keeping a continuity of supply is critical for our business.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely. And so far we've done a number of things, and we need to have a good open discussion on this because, you know, it is difficult time. So I'll take you through some of the things that we've done, and then, you know, we need to discuss it further. So as a starter, we've undertaken ABC analysis of all of our stock keeping units, which is to identify all of our A lines. And in our business, our A lines represent no more than 15% of our lines, but 85% of our turnover. So they're critical. So what I've done already is we've already got a UK backup for every single one of our A lines. Now these are available because they're from the UK, obviously on short lead times.
Right.
However, what you need to be aware of, and let me finish on this one, what you need to be aware of is that the prices are significantly higher. UK versus China. So they're approximately 30% higher than our current prices. However, on the positive side, we can carry significantly less stock, order more frequently. So we can order weekly deliveries, receive weekly, free the warehouse, so carry a lot less stock, increase our stock turn and free up our cash. So that's got lots of financial benefits. But for sure, if we have to rely on this UK backup, on the positive side, it means we have continuity of supply and we mitigate risk, but UK backup will cost more. There's no doubt about it.
Gary, it doesn't sound great to me. All I'm hearing is a 30% increase. That's an increase in price. That's an increase in our costs.
Yeah. That is a reflection of where we are. I'm hearing from the market everywhere. Prices have increased, and people are going to face difficulty. I think for us, I think the buying criteria is going to change from price to actually having the stock, having the availability, and quality. So I think it'll be more about availability, quality, and then price. You can see from the COVID-19 experience, so many people have just completely ran out of stock, and we've barely survived on the stock position, and the price it's gone out of the window. So I think a key thing for us will be about our relationships with our key suppliers. So it's going to be really important that we leverage our relationships with our key suppliers. So another thing that we've done is we're now holding bi-weekly meetings, face-to-face meetings on things like Teams and Zoom with our top 10 suppliers to keep completely up to date with the market and share the knowledge we've got, the knowledge they've got. This will be a big test on our top 10 relationships, and openness and honesty is going to be absolutely key. And I've suggested to these guys that they all try and build up buffer stock for us, and from that we can give them a longer term commitment to give them some comfort when building that buffer stock. And again, this top 10 represents 80% of our spend. So if we can get it right with these top 10, and they load some stock for us, and we manage the relationships well, and we stay honest with each other, we might be able to get ourselves through it.
So what I'm hearing here is that potentially you're looking at changing our whole sales strategy. I also need to think about, the top 20 suppliers that you're talking about. Do you think they'll still be our top 20 in 6 months' time?
I'm not sure. I think what we're going to find out here is who our friends are. Who are our right relationships. We might find some instances that we thought we had great relationships. When the difficult times comes, we haven't. We might also find that beyond the top 10, beyond the top 20, might be some other suppliers who's really, really keen to get into our top 10 and into our top 20, and are really, really going to want to work with us. So the answer to your question is, do I think certainly the top 20, do I think the top 20 will be the same top 20 in a year's time? Probably not. But it might be 18 of them. And I'd like to think the top 10 hopefully will be, or certainly at least 8 or 9 of them. But it is going to be very, very difficult times. And we are going to find out here how good our relationships are. And who's going to be with us for the long term.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about improving relationships, you're talking about changing the sales strategy, you're talking about building a buffer stocks with key suppliers. How much is all this going to cost us?
It's going to cost us, there's no doubt. And I think one of the things we need to discuss is, what our amending our sales strategy going forward and our pricing policy. But I'll come on to that in a minute. But at the end of the day, how much is it going to cost us? I'd have to suggest, how much is it going to cost us if we don't do this? It isn't going to cost us as much as a penalty from our number 1, number 2 customer. And it's not going to cost us as much of not being able to supply a surgeon in a theatre doing an urgent operation with a piece of kit that he needs for an operation. I mean, trace that to its end. Ultimately, that could cost lives. And if we're the cause of a death, our reputation will be irreversibly damaged. The actions that we're going to take in the short-term period is going to determine whether we'll be here for the long-term future and in what shape we're going to be in. So it's critical. I think it's critical right now that we get our planning and our preparation right and our relationships right in the supply chain, because fundamentally, some people are going to go. Some people are going to go. And if we do this well, we might actually come out stronger. If you quote the words of Sir Martin Christopher, organisations in the modern environment are competing on supply chains, and it's important for us that our supply chain is the best in the industry. And when the difficult time, we're already in difficult times, but when the even more difficult times come with duties and tariffs potentially from Europe, we want to be the one that customers can rely on. So what I'd say, Sue, is I think at some point we are going to have to think about, our sales guys have always talked, selling on price. That's not the market that we're in anymore. So we need to be sitting down as a team and understanding exactly where we are, and possibly even re-educating, training, bringing the sales whole team in, spending a couple of days workshopping how we're going to go to market next year, because that's going to be really, really important. And yes, we are going to incur some costs, but if that means, you might find we incur costs, we have the stock, and we actually increase turnover, and we increase market share because we actually have got the product. And it might just come down to who's got the product and who's not. Just think about face masks and plastic visors and ventilators. The price was irrelevant.
Yeah.
And that could be something that we face next year.
Yeah, you've made some really valid points, Gary. I do agree with what you're saying, absolutely. And I think you're right. You are right. Supplying and having the ability to supply is critical to our businesses, and that's what's going to make us stand out from the competition in the end. And you're quite right. You don't want to risk damaging our reputation. I think we need to work together on this new strategy with the rest of the board to see how we can take this forward. So I'll arrange a meeting with our sales and marketing director, and we'll decide a strategy going forward. But thank you very much for your thoughts and input. I appreciate it. It's probably been quite difficult for you over the last few months, and it's going to be even more difficult going forward.
It is. Procurement's come to the fore more so in the last few months than ever before. Okay.
So join us next time, where we'll be having a meeting with the Sales and Marketing Director to discuss this further.
Okay.